So hello and welcome to today's episode of Bully Mysteries. Today we're going to be covering some lost media. So a while back I was sent a 30-second snippet of a newly discovered deleted soundtrack from Bully by fellow Bully YouTuber Simon Bestia, who informed me that another person by the name of Ghost in the Machine originally found this track, which was called Carnival Funhouse Graveyard. And unlike other deleted soundtracks from Bully, this was not found in the game files, nor was it found on the beta Wii builds of the game, or any promotional material. This is completely lost media, and I don't think it was even intended by Rockstar to be released to the public, as only 20% of the track has actually been found, and in this video we'll be going over all the information I've found out about it, to where and when it was available and where it might be today. Interestingly, the only mentions of this deleted soundtrack were actually from a few Russian-speaking forums and wikis. None of the results I found were actually in English, which is weird since I would have assumed quite a few English-speaking sites and forums would know about this. And the earliest results I could find about this go as far back as February 2009 on a Russian piracy forum of all places that was posting the Bully soundtrack for free download. And interestingly, at the bottom of that post, the uploader put this is just a rough translation from Google Translate. Urge also owns the rights to 7 different exclusive, not free, tracks, so there are 44 tracks in total in the soundtrack. These exclusive tracks are Photography Class, Wrong Part of Town, Glass House, Carnival Funhouse Graveyard, Go-Kart Race 2. Looking for quality versions of these tracks. Now keep in mind, this was way before ripping the game's audio was even possible. Only a very tiny selection of people, and by that I mean 5 people, over the course of the past 13 years or so have asked about Carnival Funhouse Graveyard. The second earliest mention I could find was in May 2009, and the latest one was 2017. Anyway, going back to the May 2009 one, because this one's actually quite interesting. On another Russian speaking forum called playground.ru, like the previous one, it was discussing about the soundtrack and where to get it. But in May 2009, a user by the name of Pimp actually asked about the Carnival Funhouse track, where he put this: Go-Kart Race 2, Photography Class, Carnival Funhouse Graveyard, these 3 have not been heard in the game. So here's another interesting thing about this: Go-Kart 2 is also a deleted track, but it does exist in the game files, while Photography Class for some reason was kind of removed from Scholarship Edition and replaced with a BMX theme instead. So for some reason it's got 2 different versions in the original and Scholarship. Carnival Funhouse Graveyard is the only one here to have been completely erased from the game entirely. As mentioned, it does not exist in the files. So this implies this Pimp person has completely downloaded and listened to the full soundtrack, otherwise how would he know these tracks are unused? Sadly, the download links on the original post are all dead. There is no point trying to contact Pimp either, since his activity on the site has been incredibly patchy, only appearing once every few months before disappearing for a few more months, and hasn't been seen on the site since December 2014, or August 2013 when he last actually posted. So here's a fun fact, kind of. You know the 30-second sample I uploaded to YouTube? Well, it was actually sitting in plain sight for over a decade and nobody ever noticed this. So where was it being hosted then? Well, it was actually on GTA Series Video's Bully site of all places, which actually hasn't been updated since 2012, so the track could have just been sitting here longer than that. Anyway, GTA Series Video's site has a 30-second preview of all the soundtrack, with all the songs' length. So going off this page, we know this track is 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. We have a 30-second preview which we grabbed from the site, so we still need to find the rest of the 2 minutes. Now, some of you might be thinking, why do we only have 30 seconds? Wouldn't GTA Series Videos have the full track? This I find to be extremely unlikely. The reason we have a 30-second sample on the page is because the sort of page is advertising the Bully soundtrack and where to buy it and that, and the 30-second sample is just to give you a preview to sort of try before you buy. Don't forget, this was before the likes of Spotify and Apple Music became popular, and this 30-second preview stuff still exists today on iTunes, I believe, and I think it also exists on the free version of Spotify on mobile. So, looking at the top of the page, there are links on where to buy the album, which you might think means, well, we found it then, just buy the album and we're sorted. Once again, no, not really, because for some odd reason Bully soundtrack went through multiple album revisions, as shown by Deadpool XYZ, who's got like an hour-long video on this stuff, as it went through 3 revisions in 2006 alone. The soundtrack that released alongside the game, it had a revision in November 2006 and another one in December 2006, and none of these contain this song. So why the hell did Rockstar put 2 deleted tracks from the game as part of the official game's soundtrack anyway? And some of you might be thinking, this is really confusing. How do GTA Series Videos and some Russian pirates have or had access to the soundtrack and had it listed as part of the official soundtrack when it doesn't even exist in the commercially released soundtrack, nor does it exist in the game itself. Now this is where things get even more interesting, because this song was apparently an exclusive to MTV's Urge Music service, which you might know back in the day when iTunes was skyrocketing in popularity, everybody wanted their piece of the digital music store pie, and of course MTV were no exception to this, and it kind of made sense for them to jump in on this, as they opened up their own store in May 2006 in a partnership with Microsoft. And according to the Russian sites which I was looking at, Microsoft and MTV own the rights to 7 exclusive tracks for the client, one of which of course being Carnival Funhouse Graveyard, which ties in nicely to that post that I spoke about at the beginning of the video. So download MTV Urge and we're good to go. Once again, no, it doesn't work like that, because MTV Urge ended the partnership with Microsoft in 2007, August 2007 to be exact, and shut down entirely in 2010. And finding a download link to the Urge music client doesn't work either, as it just freezes on downloading the catalogue. Also, quite a few links on GTA Series video site are actually long dead. eMusic, Circuit City and Urge are long dead anyway. Artist Direct just redirects to the homepage, and Best Buy stopped selling the same track ages ago. But Simon Bessier informed me that the page on Artist Direct was actually archived, but the page didn't load fully because it needed Adobe Flash, which, as you know, has been killed off. So I found an offline installer from Reddit, and luckily had a version from Firefox from 2017 saved on my hard drive from my college years, and to my surprise, it loaded. We didn't get the plugin error, but the page still never loaded even after waiting about 10 minutes. So I did a look through the page source and I did find the original download link, which as you can expect is dead, which is images.artistdirect.com/audio/oldmusic/carnival_ShawnLee.wma. And no, doing the search for carnival_ShawnLee.wma gave no results, neither did changing it to .mp3. Now another thing of interest here is the Web Archive has 2 archives of this page, one from May 2010 and the other from March 2015. So that gives us a bit of an idea to when this track became lost, the mid to late 2010s. So why not try contacting Shawn Lee then? Because he's still around and he often responds to people who tweet him on Twitter, and who knows, he might have a copy of it somewhere. And that's what Reddit user Mac.eu did, and Shawn responded but says he has no memory of it. Which is a bit of a bummer, but then again, in defence of that, Shawn did compose a lot of music for Bully. I think it's at least 170 tracks, that's if you include the high, medium and low variants, and that's not including, early versions of the tracks and deleted ones like in the case of this one. So I wouldn't be surprised if you forgot about some of the tracks he made, especially those more niche ones and the ones that got scrapped in development. Now, the soundtrack name of Carnival Funhouse was kind of reused, but it's just a regular Funhouse theme, much to my disappointment when I downloaded this and thought I found it. One way to tell is the official version is 1 minute 11 seconds, the one we're looking for is 2 minutes 30. So why was it removed from the soundtrack then? Well, it makes sense to never put this as part of the paid soundtrack when it never gets used to begin with, and probably would give people a lot of confusion when this just starts playing at the middle of nowhere. Now, the soundtrack's role in the game itself was going to appear in the mission Funhouse Fun, as every area in that interior has its own specifically titled audio file, for example Carnival Funhouse Maze, Carnival Funhouse Minor, but they're heavily drowned out by the final Funhouse theme. But interestingly, the graveyard is the only area that has no leftover files whatsoever. The other files that do remain do fit in well with a creepy theme from the graveyard, for example take a listen to the maze. And let's face it, this theme was most likely dropped because the soundtrack is a bit too atmospheric for the mission, because this music theme is less rescuing the nerds from a failed prank and sounds more like you've stumbled upon a dark secret of somebody you care about. So in closing, I think I've hit a bit of a brick wall with this, like I've clicked on as many links I could, found so many dead links and I just can't seem to find it. So this is why I've sort of made this video, So if anybody wants to help join this search, like, maybe dig up an old hard drive or try to get other prominent Lost Media community members involved, like Blame It on Jorge or L Supersonic HQ or whatever, then yeah, try that I guess. But for now, I'm completely stumped on what to do. Because if we can get this soundtrack, then we've archived another bit of Bully history which I think the fans would really enjoy. But yeah, that's it for today's video I guess, and yeah, thank you for watching and I hope we can get this soundtrack back soon in all of its glory.